Today, I want to tell you about my personal journey with entrepreneurship. Hey there, I'm Michelle Coyle, and this is Queer Hustle, where we help queer entrepreneurs start up and scale. And today, I just thought it would be good to talk a little bit about my personal journey with entrepreneurship. I know that most of the people that are watching this don't know me, don't know who I am. And you might wonder, what the fuck do I know? Or why am I qualified to talk about this? Or just want to get to know me a little bit. So I thought, hey, why not take you on a walk through how I came to be this person and run Queer Hustle and run a big business that helps people grow their businesses? Because I've been on an entrepreneurial journey for a long time now. It really started about 18 years ago in 2002. So that is how old I am. But I started out not even trying to be an entrepreneur. I actually started out as a political consultant, political media consultant, learning how to make ads and wanting to, I came from campaign politics. I'd been working in the field doing campaign work, and I wanted to kind of get into that. But what I ended up doing was working for somebody else who was starting his own business. And as his assistant, just kind of, and like all around right hand gal, I learned not only a ton about politics and political media, but I also learned a ton about how to start a business because he was very interested in doing the creative aspects of the business. And so a lot of the operations, mechanics, financial stuff fell to me. I didn't know that I liked that stuff or wanted to do it. At that time, I just kind of needed a job. But I fell in love with it, especially the rush of starting from something from scratch. This was a business that we started with $3,000 of his money from his kitchen table and nothing else. So just starting from nothing, and to see that business grow to where it made $500,000 in the first year, won lots of awards, things like that, was just such a rush. By the end of the first couple of years, we had amassed a staff of, I shouldn't say amassed, it wasn't like tons of people, but I think there were about 7 people on staff, completely taking off into real business territory. And I just caught the bug right then and there. I just thought that was the coolest thing, to make something out of nothing. I hadn't come from a background where I was exposed to a lot of wealth or a lot of people with money. I'm from Oklahoma. I just grew up with working class folks. And it was so cool to see that you could take just a little bit of money, not very much money, and a lot of vision, a lot of elbow grease, and just make something like that happen. So from that point, I started studying everything I could about money, about business, and just trying to kind of figure it out. I ended up going to business school at that point because I just thought, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so interesting. And I went to get my MBA. I went and got my MBA full time. From 2007 to 2009, getting out in 2009 with an MBA, not really the coolest timing of that. Everything was crashed out. But I learned so much in business school, and I loved it. And some of my best friends and people that are closest to me are people that I met there. And it wasn't just that I learned about business and MBA stuff, obviously I did, but also just what I learned about myself, being able to go into a situation with a program that was that difficult. So I went to the Tuck School at Dartmouth, so shout out Big Green. Bleeding green over here always. But it was so difficult. I did not come from that business background that so many of my classmates had come from, and everything was graded on a curve. I came in and I was just from politics, knowing nothing about what anyone was talking about. I felt stupid for the first time in my life. And sitting there and sticking it out. I was a single mom at that point. I had an 18-month-old, my oldest son, who's 14 now. Again, dating myself, making myself sound old. My 14-year-old son was 18 months old at that time. And it was so difficult to stick in there with that program and hang in. So when I graduated from business school, the pride that I felt and just the sense of accomplishment and the stories that I had about myself were so big, so much different. Just look, I can do hard things. I can push through things that are difficult. And I had so much more confidence in myself and what I was able to achieve coming out of that. So even when I was in business school, right, I'm still broke. I'm on student loans. I'm a single mom. I'm trying to take care of my kid and send money home and everything. So I was doing school full time, but I was also starting to do agency style work and work that was kind of like the work that I'd been doing before, where I could project manage websites and things like that for people, just whatever anyone would kind of pay me to do on the side and hustle to make some extra income. So I was just kind of continually in business for myself at some level, regardless of what I was doing full time. When I got out of school, I came back to DC and I ended up working for other people for a very short-lived time, because again, this is the recession. So I had a job for like 10 months, got laid off. It was like, last in, first out kind of thing. And then I started a makeup company where I was literally manufacturing lip gloss and other cosmetics in my basement. I learned, I went to makeup school. I learned how to be a makeup artist. I learned everything I could about makeup and supply chain. I got my products distributed in like 7 states in boutiques, and I was kind of doing that thing. And it was a really, really cool and interesting learning experience. I learned so much about business. I learned so much about sales. It was just as hard to sell one $18 tube of lip gloss as it is to sell like, a $10,000 or $20,000 consulting package. So like I really went through the ringer and learned so much in real time about supply chain management, inventory, marketing, distribution, just manufacturing, all of those things, and wholesale, just all of those things through that experience. It was so cool, but so difficult. I had another kid. I went back to work for other people for a couple of years. I thought I can't handle this and have 2 kids. I went back to work for other people for a couple of years, and then people started asking me through my work, through agency work. I was at that point like high level VP level at a couple of agencies, and people started asking me to help them. And so my consulting company just started to build itself at that point. There was a lot of demand in this one particular niche because I was still working in the political consulting industry, and there was demand because for my help, because so many people that work in politics are really, really great at what they do, like making ads or phone calls or fundraising or mail or whatever they do. But they're not business people. In fact, they're people that come from this campaign background. And so they're constantly trying to apply things that work really well on campaigns to business. In a campaign, you might have 6 weeks until election day. So it's how do we spend all the money? How do we get everyone to work as hard as possible, just to the finish line? And it's great for winning in a 6-week time frame, but if you apply that type of mentality to a business that you're trying to build over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it's not really going to work. You're going to burn everybody out. There's going to be no cash in the bank. So I started consulting for people in the political consulting industry on the left, on the progressive side, and saying, hey, let's help you run your organization more efficiently so that you've got more time and energy and capacity to worry about the things that you're like really, really good at. And that will be my contribution to the political movement at this point. And the business really took off from there, right? Like at the same time that I was doing that consulting, I was also getting experience working on executive boards, nonprofit boards. I started angel investing when I started making a little bit of money, and so I would be investing in other people's companies and advising. And so this was all kind of compounding with client experience and then my advisory experience in other ways. And it really started to lend itself to just creating a management consulting shop. And so that's what I did in 2017. I went ahead and officially started my current business, which is called BGST Strategies, and started consulting for progressive entrepreneurs and then impact-focused entrepreneurs, and then eventually kind of pivoted to a niche of queer entrepreneurs because I want to imbue those progressive values into the work that I do. I'm a queer entrepreneur, and I just wanted to help other marginalized people who aren't always given all of the opportunities in corporate life to use entrepreneurship to go out and get these opportunities for ourselves. And so that's really what I've been doing, and that's how Queer Hustle came into my experience, and why we started this Queer Hustle podcast a few months back to really showcase other up-and-coming queer entrepreneurs and just talk about queer entrepreneurship in general and what we can do to move ourselves along. I really want to it's my passion, it's my mission, it's in my heart to help other queer and marginalized entrepreneurs to go out and get ours and do the best that we can and just continue to create community and support each other. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm hosting Queer Hustle, and that's who I am. Hopefully this was fun for you to get to know me a little bit. It's definitely fun for me to get to share my joy with you and my journey with you and my mission, my heart with you. So thank you so much for listening. If you like these videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. Coming out with new content every single week, and we don't want you to miss any of it. I've also got something for you. If you want to check out the link in the description, I have a free guide for queer entrepreneurs on how you can survive and even thrive in these crazy economic times. Would love for you to check that out. And as always, if there's anything you want to be talking about, or if you have anything you want to start a dialogue with me about, just drop us a comment. Let us know. We always read that stuff, take it real seriously, and take it into account. I think that's it for now. Thanks for listening today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.